back to Virtual Ventures. I'm Miss Julie, and today we found a folk tale that we found versions from Turkey and Italy, but we're going to do the one from Iceland so that we can make goat sounds. Woo! Okay, so also I'd like to introduce Miss Amber's magical hands. They will be appearing today. Let's see your magical hands, Miss Amber. There they are. Okay. We call this one Jan and the Hungry Coat. Now, this takes place in Iceland, where a man named Jan Bjorgvinsson lived, and Jan was a super nice guy. If you were going away, he would bring your mail in. If you were sick, he would bring you soup. He just had a really good heart. Jan was out and about one day doing some errands when he heard a horrible sound. He found a little goat, a poor goat with his tail caught in the fence. Jan went over to help, but I'm sure all your primary caretakers have warned you when you see an animal in distress, get an adult. Because when animals are frightened, they could kick you or nip at you, and this is what happened to poor Jan. The goat was kicking at him, tore his coat, tore his clothes. It was, he fell in the mud, but he got the tail out, and the goat was so grateful, went over to Jan, licked him all over the face, and was very happy and took him. Jan looked up at the sky and thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to be late, because that's how he told time, because they had not invented Apple watches or old watches or anything. So he had to get to his friend's house for a big gathering. And he thought, oh dear, I better hurry. So he took off and went straight to his friends. When he got there, he knocked on the door. His friend came to the door and he sees this. And he just doesn't even say anything. He just stands back. Jan's oblivious, and he's just so happy to see his friend. Oh, Gunnar, so good to see you. Comes right in, goes straight for the buffet, waves at his other friends. But he comes over to the table and he notices everybody's kind of turned their back. They're all squishing together. They're not making room for him at the table. No one wants to talk to him. And he thinks, why is this? And he looks down and sees how he looks. And when he looks down, he catches a whiff of goat, and he thinks, oh my, and he's so sad that he leaves the party, and he goes home. And he takes off his clothes, and he has fabulous underwear, and he gets in the shower. A beautiful tinsel shower, oh my goodness. And he takes a shower, and he gets all clean, and he goes to the back of his closet, where he has kept for years a beautiful coat that his father had given him, and his father's father had given to him, and he had gotten it from his father's for years. Look at this beautiful jeweled coat. And he put it on, and he took the box out of the back of the closet where he kept a crown that went with this coat from many years ago. Look how fantastic he looks. He returned to his friend's house, and he knocked on the door, or possibly rang the doorbell, which had been invented since he left. And his friend opened the door. Jan Bjorgvinsson, so good to see you. Come in. Welcomed him like a brother. And he came in, and his friends, Jan, come on over here, sit with me. Jan, come on, sit with me. They all wanted Jan to be their friend. Well, they started bringing him food. And they brought him a big bread. He took the bread, and he put it inside his coat. And he said, eat, coat, eat. And they looked at him, and they handed him cheese. He did the same thing on the other side. Eat, coat, eat. He stuffed the cheese in his coat. Everything, a fish he put in his coat, everything, a rack of lamb, every food that he brought, he put in his coat. He took apple cider and poured it down the front of this beautiful coat. And lastly, he took a really delicious looking piece of cake with gooey icing and smushed it all over the front of his coat. His friends were aghast. Jan, what on earth are you doing? And Jan looked at his friends and he said, when I was here before, no one would look at me. It was like I was invisible. But now, I come here in this coat and you all want to be my friend and you bring me things. I realize I was not invited to this party. My coat was, so I'm feeding my coat. His friends had the decency to look embarrassed. They said, Jan, you are right. We are so sorry. And they all sat and ate together. And when Jan went home, his friends said, wow, you know, if you've got a good heart, you're always well dressed. And Jan stopped off and fortunately he had a really good dry cleaner, so that was a good thing. So if you're invited to a family gathering this month and you're all doing it on Zoom and Grandma says, hey, why didn't you get dressed up? This is a big family gathering. Don't go wrestle a goat, not necessary, but you can tell this story. All right, take care, you guys. We'll see you next time.